everyone, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Ajwa and I hope this video finds you well. If you are new to this place, please consider subscribing. And to all my returning subscribers, thank you so much for your support as always, and welcome back. So if you had asked me this question like 5 years ago about how I feel about Middle Eastern fragrances, I believe I would have given a silly response like, oh, they are cheap fragrances from Dubai which smell so pungent. I'm sure that would have been, most likely what I would have said. But if you ask me the same question now, I have a totally different perception and respect for Middle Eastern houses, or in particular their fragrances now, and my response would be totally different. So in this video, I have put together some 5 what I call facts, but they are nothing facts, there's nothing biblical and cast in stone in this. These are just my opinion, about how I feel or things I have noticed about Middle Eastern fragrances, that might dispel some myth and some assumptions that people have about these houses. So I have put, I think, about 6 of them in total. So the very first one I think I have here is that do not look for originality in Middle Eastern fragrances. If you buy Middle Eastern fragrances with the view that you're going to get something original, like an original creation, then you're just going to be let down, because most of them, are duping, or most of them are clone houses basically. So they just clone a lot of already existing fragrances. There are exclusive fragrances, which are exclusive to some houses, but for the most part, those ones are like super exclusive houses that a lot of us do not have access to. Then you can, get those kind of niche quality exclusive creations. But for the most part, you'll be getting clones of already existing fragrances. For example, when Latafa came up with their Pride collection, there was news that it was their exclusive collection. But later on, we found out that most of them are already, existing fragrances. What I would give them is their creativity. In most instances, you find them combining 2 or even 3 fragrances to create something a little different, but you still get the original DNA in those kind of fragrances. So if you want something, with a bit of a twist here and there, then I'll give it to them. But do not buy them thinking you're going to get original creation. The next point I have here is that not all Middle Eastern houses are affordable. I think there is this notion that Middle Eastern houses are cheap, clone houses, nothing to write home about. However, this is not the absolute truth. There are tons of fragrance houses in the Middle East, and their products are at par with some niche and high-end designer ones. When it comes to prices, I mean, because we are used to a lot of these very accessible houses like the Verb, Latafa, Ad Azafaran, Rasasi, and the likes, we assume, okay, because of those houses, most of them are. But when it comes to a house like Kajal, Amouage, even Swiss Arabian, it's not like the best in terms of affordability, in my opinion. But there are some houses, even Keali, which is a Middle Eastern house, like they are not like the most affordable in terms of the prices. So not all Middle Eastern fragrances are affordable or cheap. There are some houses that have outpriced, a lot of us. So when it comes to that, it is quite subjective. But for the larger part population, if you have to buy a fragrance for about $150 upwards, then to me it's not affordable. So houses like Amouage, Kajal, even Swiss Arabian, KLE, and so many other ones which I do not even know of, are like priced out of a lot of us, our price point. So not all of them are affordable. So this one leads me to the third point, which is in connection with the second one in terms of the price points of some of these Middle Eastern houses. For this, I think I have a sort of rhetoric question. If someone has a response, I'll be glad to have that. So I've realized that in most cases, when these Middle Eastern houses are priced at beyond a certain price point, like beyond 100, upwards, 150, 200, 250, a lot of people consider those houses as niche houses. Although they are all, Middle Eastern houses, I believe it cuts across. We have niche houses, designer houses, and then the Middle Eastern and others. But once some of these Middle Eastern houses cross a certain price points, people believe that those fragrances are niche. Like Arabian Oud, for example, Amouage, even Keali, Kajal, a lot of them, people believe those ones are niche, whilst they refer to the lower, versions like the Latafes and the Verbs, the Azafaran, and the likes as Middle Eastern, so maybe this is a rhetoric question. Are they all niche, because most of these Middle Eastern fragrances, all they do is fragrances and nothing else, and that is a criteria for being called a niche house, in terms of these fragrances. So do you consider them niche based on their price point, or you consider them niche because they are all exclusively making fragrances? So that is like something to think about. The next point I would like to make is that not all Middle Eastern fragrances contain oud. That is a very big misconception about Middle Eastern fragrances. This is because, in the past we just knew they were strong and pungent and animalic and all, but in recent times, like to me, in more recent times, when these houses are duping a lot of designer, fragrances which are mass appealing and do not have any oud or skunk or even wood to it, then you can just be rest assured that you are getting something very Western, or westernized sort of direction. Most of them are going to the Western direction in terms of their creation, because they are duping these Western houses which are usually mass appealing and do not contain any oud. So not all Middle Eastern fragrances, contain oud. If you want that Oriental oud type, you will get that. But if you are looking for non-oud Middle Eastern fragrances, which are like feminine, sweet, girly, light and airy, there are absolutely hundreds of them to choose from. So not all Middle Eastern fragrances contain oud. The next point I want to make is that do not expect natural ingredients in these or in most of these Middle Eastern fragrances. For the prices that we are getting these fragrances between $20 to $30, do not expect, you don't have to have like such high expectations when it comes to the ingredients. Maybe you can get them in some of these designer and niche fragrances, the natural, sort of ingredients, but you're looking at mass production to make things so affordable. So definitely do not expect the quality to be at par with these designer fragrances, which are like 5-6 times the prices of these dupes that Middle Eastern houses are giving us. Do not expect anything. Do not have such overly high expectation, because most of the ingredients are lab made, they are synthetic. So sometimes it really shows in the fragrances. That is why, for the most part, when you get Middle Eastern fragrances, you are advised to let it sit to macerate for some time before you can really enjoy those fragrances, because the chemicals and whatever they use are quite harsh, and can be a little disturbing, so you need to let it sit for a while before you can truly enjoy them. You are only getting what you are paying for, so do not have high expectation. So the last point I would like to make is quite, a historical one. From the little research that I made, the first fragrance formulation was not done in Europe or any other place. According to a journal, I think I got this information online, and I'll just like to read it here. So according to the Journal of Chemical Education, which was written by Sherida Holihan and John Wattis, and the name of the journal is Journal of Chemical Education. They pointed out that the first fragrance formulation was actually done around 1200 BC in Mesopotamia, and this is current day Iraq. That is where the first fragrance formulation was done. So it was not in Europe, or like France is known currently as the headquarters for fragrances, but historically Mesopotamia or current day Iraq is where everything started. And the first fragrance was made by a lady called Tapruti. So that is like, hats off to all women. The first formulation was made by a woman known as Taputi around 1200 BC. That is all I have for you. Just little facts here and there. There is nothing Bible, cast in stone, truth. It's just my little, sense here and there that I've put together. So I hope you did enjoy this one. And let me know in the comment section if there's anything about Middle Eastern fragrances that I missed out that you would love to share. I would really want to know that. Thank you so much, and I hope this video found you well. Please do not forget to give this video a thumbs up. I would truly appreciate that. I hope to see you in my next one. Take care. Bye-bye.